What if Anakin was trained from birth? In The Phantom Menace, Anakin was discovered on Tatooine by Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan when he was 9 years old. This led to Anakin having already formed attachments in his life before becoming a Jedi, and being older than the traditional Jedi who started their training, leaving him open to manipulation and the seduction of the Sith. But what if this wasn't the case? And what if Anakin was trained from birth? Our story begins on Coruscant as the Jedi Council can sense a strong vergence in the Force surrounding Tatooine. They haven't felt something this powerful in the Force for many centuries, and they know they must check it out. Jedi Masters Qui-Gon Jinn and Dooku are sent to investigate. As they arrive on the sandy planet, they follow their senses into a home on Mos Espa. It was here they located a pregnant Shmi Skywalker.
Can I help you?
My name is Qui-Gon Jinn. This is Master Dooku. We are Jedi. Sent by the Council. We sensed something here.
Shmi shifts, protective of her stomach.
Your child. He carries a presence in the Force unlike any we felt. May we ask, who is his father?
There wasn't one. I don't know how to explain it. One day I knew I was carrying him.
Dooku and Qui-Gon exchange a glance. Something was out of place.
The Force may have had a hand in this. We'd like to bring you both to Coruscant for your safety and his.
I don't want to be separated from him.
You won't be, but this child may be far more than either of us yet understand.
Shmi nods slowly, a mix of fear and trust in her eyes. These were Jedi. They are supposed to be the good guys. From here, Qui-Gon and Dooku would meet with the Jedi Council, who all agree that Shmi is carrying the prophesized Chosen One. There is no animosity or questioning whether Anakin should be trained in this timeline, since he will be a Jedi from the time he was born. A few weeks later, Shmi gives birth to Anakin under the supervision of the Jedi and medical experts on Coruscant. Medical droids conduct their tests to discover that the boy has more midichlorians than any other Jedi in history. They return to the council chambers with Shmi holding the young Anakin to discuss his future. Shmi stood in the center of the room with Anakin in her arms. She was very worried. The council was about to decide her fate, as much as Anakin's. Would she remain on Coruscant, or would she be banished away like every other parent of a Force user?
This situation is unprecedented. Anakin's connection to the Force is undeniable, but so is his attachment. His mother remains with him now.
Attachment leads to fear. Fear leads to anger. We all know where that path ends. If he is to be trained, he must be separated, as all initiates are.
And yet, he is no ordinary initiate, no ordinary child. He was not born. He was willed into existence by the Force itself.
That may be. The precedent exists for a reason. If we bend the code for one, we weaken it for all.
Shmi glances down at Anakin in her arms, her jaw tightening. She didn't know what they would decide.
The code was written for what we understood of the Force. This child changes that understanding. He needs care, not just training. His mother's presence is not a liability. It is a stabilizing factor. Remove her, and you risk creating a void the boy may never recover from.
A long silence held in the room until all eyes turned to Yoda.
Rare this is. Unnatural his birth may be, but clouded his future is not. The light in him is strong, and to be separated from his mother, not necessary it is.
This child was not born through natural means, nor discovered in the ordinary way. His very existence defies precedent, and the Force itself may have willed it.
Yoda paused for a moment while considering everyone's thoughts.
A Jedi, young Skywalker will be. As for Shmi, remain on Coruscant she will.
Tears streamed down Anakin's mother's face as she tried to maintain her composure.
Very well. The Council grants its approval.
Windu and Yoda turned to Dooku.
Master Dooku, your apprentice, Skywalker, will be.
The Republic had changed in 9 years, but so had Anakin Skywalker. No longer the infant boy under Jedi supervision, he had grown into a formidable Padawan, just 9 years old, yet commanding the presence of someone much older. Under the tutelage of Dooku, his training was rigorous, focused and unrelenting. Unlike other masters, Dooku taught with a mixture of refinement and challenge, forcing Anakin to rise above his instincts while nurturing his extraordinary potential. In the training halls of the Jedi Temple, Anakin sparred with multiple Padawans, sometimes twice his age. He bested them with precision and restraint, his footwork elegant and his timing nearly flawless. During lightsaber practice, Dooku instilled in Anakin Form 2, the same form that he had mastered himself. He spent his mornings meditating in the temple gardens with Dooku, balancing pebbles in midair, sometimes levitating himself while surrounded by a symphony of floating stones. The other Jedi Masters took notice. Mace Windu observed in silence one afternoon, arms folded, eyes narrowed. Later that day, Dooku spoke before the council in his typically clipped and assertive manner.
He is precise, disciplined, and far beyond his age in control and awareness.
Even Yoda had no immediate rebuttal. Hey guys, make sure to check out our saber shop, Fantasy Sabers, for the best NeoPixel sabers on the market. We have a bunch of perfect replicas and other insane Padawan sabers for sale. Check them out on our website, first link in the description below, and grab your own one today. While Anakin's training continued within the temple, far across the cityscape, his mother Shmi was rising through a different arena. After settling on Coruscant years prior, she began getting involved in politics. This was something she was particularly passionate about. Having been a slave on Tatooine, she desired to help the Outer Worlds and get equality for everyone. She focused on helping other Outer Rim immigrants navigate the bureaucracy of the core worlds. She spoke in the Senate on several occasions, campaigning for more resources to be sent outside of the core worlds. Her experience as a former slave gave her a raw authenticity in the Senate chamber that few could replicate. In one session, mid-level senators debated supply routes and military assistance for remote systems impacted by pirate raids.
Entire sectors have been left to fend for themselves. Is the Republic not meant to serve all its worlds, not just the core?
She wasn't trained in rhetoric or protocol, but she spoke with lived truth, and it was heard. Later that day, after the session ended and aides scrambled about in the marbled corridors, a calm, deliberate voice approached her.
You speak with such clarity, Shmi. It's rare to see such conviction untainted by ambition.
I only speak what I've lived. Out there, people are losing faith in Coruscant, in the Republic, in all of it.
And they have every right to. That's why I intend to change that. Naboo's policy team is expanding. I need someone who understands what the rest of us have forgotten. Someone like you.
Shmi blinked, caught off guard.
I'm not a politician by training.
No, but you are one by spirit. And that's exactly what the Republic needs.
She hesitated, but only for a moment before she accepted. The Trade Federation crisis followed soon after. Naboo was blockaded and chaos spilled into the Senate. Palpatine called on Shmi frequently. Her empathy for the oppressed, her credibility with Outer Rim voices, and her ability to speak plainly to complicated issues made her invaluable. When other senators faltered, Shmi gave impassioned speeches that swayed the uncertain. In private adversarial meetings, Shmi sat alongside Palpatine and Naboo's legal representatives. Just like in The Phantom Menace, a vote of no confidence was held against Chancellor Valorum. Shmi helped rally support among neutral systems, persuading them that a vote was necessary if any change was going to happen for the Outer Worlds. When the vote passed, Palpatine rose. He was elected as Supreme Chancellor by overwhelming support, and much of it was coming from the Outer Rim blocks that Shmi had helped to unify. On the night of his victory, a grand celebration overtook Coruscant. Fireworks lit up the sky and shimmering light danced across rooftops, towers, and Senate spires. On the highest terrace of one such tower, away from the crowds and the noise, Shmi stood beside Palpatine, gazing over the city.
It was your voice that made the difference, Shmi. You gave me credibility beyond the core.
I just spoke what I knew. People needed to be reminded of the rest of the galaxy.
Palpatine nodded, turning his head back to the party as senators got drunk and partied.
They listened, more than I expected, and now the galaxy turns its eyes to me, for guidance, for strength.
There was a pause. The sound of clinking glasses and muted conversation drifted behind them.
Your son, he is quite the marvel. The Jedi must be proud.
They are. Dooku says he's unlike any Padawan he's trained.
And yet they keep him contained. Will they ever let him be what he truly is?
And what truly is he?
Powerful.
A long pause followed. The fireworks flared again behind them, casting flickers of red and blue across their faces. Shmi said nothing. Palpatine didn't need her to. The seed had been planted. He sipped his drink and then turned back to the crowd.
Enjoy the party, Shmi. There's much to celebrate tonight, and much still to build.
12 years had passed since the election of Supreme Chancellor Palpatine. What began as a growing political crisis had erupted into full-scale war. The Clone Wars had torn across the galaxy, pulling system after system into the chaos. On one side stood the Republic, on the other the Separatists. Once guardians of peace, the Jedi Order had become generals in a conflict they never wanted, and at the center of it all was Anakin Skywalker. Now 21, Anakin was no longer a Padawan. He was a knight, trained from birth under the strict, relentless guidance of Count Dooku. He had become the Republic's golden Jedi, worshipped by clone troopers, admired by senators, and feared by the Separatists. But Anakin didn't play by the rules. He disobeyed Jedi orders often, because his way worked. While the council debated, he acted. He was the poster boy of the Jedi Order. Palpatine praised him publicly, often calling him the hero with no fear in Senate broadcasts. And beside Palpatine, at nearly every strategic meeting, stood Shmi Skywalker. Over the years, she had risen to become Palpatine's most trusted advisor. Palpatine, Anakin, and Shmi spent lots of time together, discussing the state of the galaxy and how to best save the Republic.
The Senate moves too slow. The Jedi wait too long. This is not a time for peace. It's a time for order.
The Council, they hesitate. We could end this war faster if they just let us finish it.
You could finish it, if they trusted you.
Shmi looked at her son, eyes filled with confidence.
You were meant to lead Ani, not to follow rules written by people who don't understand what this galaxy needs anymore.
Anakin didn't answer, but he heard every word. The Jedi Temple's training chamber echoed with the crackle of lightsabers. Anakin moved fast, too fast, pressing Dooku harder than usual. Each strike carried the weight, frustration, and something beneath the surface. Their blades locked.
You fight like you're proving something.
Maybe I am. Or maybe I'm tired of holding back while people die.
Dooku disengaged, ending the duel. Anakin deactivated his saber without word and walked off. Later that day, Dooku stood before the Jedi Council.
Palpatine's relationship with Skywalker is growing too close, and Shmi's influence, it's no longer just a mother's concern. She's become political, strategic.
We've noticed changes, but there's no evidence of wrongdoing.
Watch them, you must. Careful you must be.
Palpatine, Shmi, Anakin. If there's movement toward the dark, we need to know.
Dooku bowed. He didn't like the idea of spying on his apprentice, but the entire council knew that something was wrong.
Understood. I'll observe and report back to you.
That evening, Anakin stood in his mother's apartment. The lights of Coruscant stretched endlessly outside. He paced, agitated.
Dooku still treats me like I'm 10. The Council questions everything I do. But Palpatine, he listens. He trusts me.
Because he sees what you are. Not just a Jedi, a man who can fix things. A man who isn't afraid to do what needs to be done.
I'm not sure I'm that man.
You already are. You just haven't let yourself believe it yet.
He didn't reply, but something shifted in him. In that moment, he trusted her more than anyone in the Jedi Temple. The tension was building on Coruscant between the Senate and the Jedi. Dooku was extremely concerned for his apprentice, and he knew he had to speak to Shmi about it.
You believe you're protecting your son?
I am.
No, you're leading him away from the Jedi, away from the balance we've worked for centuries to preserve.
He's not a child anymore, and he's not a tool for your council.
He's being pulled into something darker than you understand. You trust Palpatine, but that trust will cost your son everything.
I trust Anakin, and I trust the man who sees his worth.
Then you are already lost.
Dooku turned and left, but Shmi stood resolute in her stance. She had been manipulated to a point of no return by Palpatine. Regardless of what the man did, he would never be in the wrong. This led to a boiling point at Shmi's apartment on Coruscant the following day, where Palpatine finally believed there was enough discontent between Anakin and the Jedi, and between the citizens of the Republic's hatred for the war. Anakin, Palpatine, and Shmi were having dinner at Shmi's apartment.
There is a storm coming, Anakin. The Republic may not survive it, but with strength, vision, we could rebuild something better. Something that endures.
Shmi nods and offers a gentle smile at Anakin.
You were meant for more, Ani. Not just to fight in other people's wars, but to lead, to bring peace. The Jedi only speak of.
You both talk like the Republic's already lost.
It is. You just haven't seen it yet. The Jedi delay, the Senate decays, even the victory you achieved in the field. It's built on sand.
You're saying I should abandon the Jedi?
No, we're saying you should fulfill your destiny. There's a difference. You've been taught to obey, but never to realize what you are.
Palpatine looks at the table before standing, and as he stands, the room darkens subtly. He walks behind Anakin, his voice lowering.
There are truths you have long deserved to know. It is time you understood what your mother has come to understand about me, about what I am.
Anakin was frozen in place, unable to move.
What are you talking about?
I am not just Chancellor. I am Darth Sidious, Lord of the Sith.
The room chills as Anakin stiffens, his eyes darted to Shmi, searching for denial, but instead...
I've known for years, Ani, before the war, before any of this, but I believed, I still believe, it was the only path forward.
Anakin stands and stumbles back, stunned. So many thoughts race through his mind.
You knew and you said nothing?
Anakin then turns to Palpatine.
You've lied. You've twisted everything.
I gave you freedom. I gave your mother purpose. I gave you the truth. And now I offer you power, not as a pawn, but as a partner.
Suddenly, a voice emerges from the shadows near the corridor.
The only thing you've offered is corruption, old friend.
Palpatine turns calmly. Anakin wheels around to see Dooku stepping out of the shadows, his eyes locked on his apprentice.
Master?
I feared this moment would come. I've watched you crawl through this war, infecting everything with rot. But you, Anakin, I never stopped watching over you.
Dooku subtly presses a hidden signal on his wrist, activating an emergency beacon to the Council. Inside the chamber, Yoda, Windu, and Plo Koon see the signal coming from Shmi Skywalker's apartment. They know something is wrong and leave immediately.
Ah, Dooku, ever the idealist. You trained Anakin well, but you failed to set him free.
You've been watching me this whole time.
You must see what he's done, Anakin. He's manipulated your mother, using you, feeding you doubt, turning your trust into chains.
No, Ani, I chose this. I believed in him. I thought he saw what the Jedi refused to see. I thought I was helping you.
You thought giving me to a Sith Lord was helping?
You are already more powerful than any Jedi. Why do you fear what you are? Join me, Anakin. Rule with clarity. End this chaos. Save your mother from the punishment the Jedi will bring.
He's not yours to manipulate any longer.
Suddenly, Palpatine ignites a crimson blade. Dooku and Palpatine duel, as red and blue flashes throughout the building. Anakin is frozen, torn between both worlds. He doesn't know what to do. He runs over to Shmi, who watches horrified. As the fight plays out, Palpatine uses his mastery over the 7 forms of lightsaber combat to slash Dooku across the forearm and disarm him. The red blade of the Sith is aimed directly at the Jedi's throat.
Decide now. Who will it be? The Jedi or your mother?
As Anakin looks to Shmi, she is lifted off the floor as she grabs her windpipe. Palpatine is choking her. In a moment of clarity, Anakin force pushes Palpatine away and activates his lightsaber, not in rage, but in resolve. He has chosen his side.
You are wrong about everything.
Just then, the Jedi Council arrived. Yoda, Mace, Plo Koon, and the others enter the chamber. Palpatine snarls as anger drips. A fierce battle commences, but one that will only go one way. Palpatine tries to hold them off, but as he realizes he is defeated, he launches for the door, only to be cut off by Anakin. In a final swift motion, the Jedi Council rally together and kill Darth Sidious. 2 weeks after the fall of Palpatine, the Clone Wars have officially come to an end after the remaining Separatist leaders surrender and are arrested. The Republic sends forces to all corners of the galaxy to ensure that all remnants of the Separatists die out. At the capital, Bail Organa is elected as the new Supreme Chancellor to replace Palpatine and herald in a new era for the Republic. The Jedi officially win the war against the Sith and safely return to their roles as peacekeepers, not soldiers. Shmi Skywalker was sentenced to 10 years in prison for her role in colluding and helping Palpatine with the war. Anakin understood that this was justice, but he didn't give up on his mother. He visited her constantly and dreamt of the day where she'd be allowed out of prison and given the opportunity to restart her life. In the end, Anakin Skywalker fulfilled the prophecy and brought balance to the Force. Thank you for watching today's video. Please let me know in the comments below what you thought of this video style. I tried something different with adding a ton more voice lines and fleshing out each scene in depth instead of giving an overarching narrative of how the what if events would affect the galaxy. So please tell me which style you prefer and how you'd like me to improve moving forward. See you in the next episode of Fantasy Folklore, and may the Force be with you.